Hi everyone. So today I was able to solve this one three questions within weekly contest 516. Let's see. First, let's discuss the question number one. Check ASCII Palindromic. This one basically check ASCII Palindromic. Right. So let's see what the question states here. So I can just go through the question. It's very simple. I have just summarized the question so that it will be easier for us to understand basically. Yeah. Let's go through the question. So first, what the question states here, we are given a string S containing lowercase English letters. So this is very important again. One second. So what we need to do basically here, we are given a string S containing lowercase English letters. So we are given lowercase English letters. This is very important. So we need to convert every character into its 8-bit ASCII binary representation. So this they have strictly said in the question that we need to convert every character. Suppose string we have here A, B, C. Every character in the sense, first of all, we have to convert the A, we have to convert the B, as well as we have to convert the C into its 8-bit ASCII binary representation. How we will be able to this one convert the every character? Let's see that one later. For now, let's understand the question. So we need to convert every character into its 8-bit ASCII binary representation. So leading zeros must be included. They have strictly asked in the question that leading zeros has to be included. So every character contributes exactly 8 bits. So here itself they have mentioned that we need to convert every character into 8-bit ASCII binary representation. Yep, this part is very important and I hope the question is clear, right? So leading zeros must be included. So every character contributes exactly 8 bits. Keeping all these binary representations in the same order, right? Now we need to check whether the complete binary string is a palindrome or not. After converting the single character to its 8-bit ASCII binary representation, so we need to combine all the this one what 8-bit ASCII binary representation each character, right? So there might be number of characters. After combining it, we have to check whether the entire this one the string that we get, right? So we need to check in the form of zeros and ones. Basically we are going with a binary representation. The entire string should be palindrome or not. That's what we need to check. That's what they have asked in the question. So if it is palindrome, then we have to return true, right? So if it is not a palindrome, then we have to return false. What is a palindrome? We know this. What is palindrome basically? So we need to read the same thing from the forward as well as the backward basically, right? So suppose a simple example, as we are going with a binary representation, this is the palindrome. You can check, right? So if you read this one from the forward, it will be 101, and if you read this one from the backward, then also it's 101. So it is a palindrome, right? So it's the simple example. So if whatever the binary representation, 8-bit binary representation of all the characters that we get, suppose it forms a palindrome. If we read the same thing from the backward as well as the this one forward, if we get the same, actually in that case we have to return true or else we have to return false. That's what they have given in the question, right? So this is fine, I believe. This is it for the question. Let me close this one for a second. Just give me a second here. Yep. Let me close this one entirely. Now, yep. Let's try to understand the same thing with a very simple example. So this is the first example that they have given here. So let's try to understand this one with the same example, and then we can just return the code. This is the code that I have submitted during the contest. So first, let's discuss or let's try to understand the same thing with a simple example. Let's do it. And let's go through the constraints as well. I completely forgot this one constraints. So the length of the string basically has to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 100. They have strictly mentioned in the question. And the string contains only lowercase English letters. So it will not, so we don't have to worry about the uppercase letters. The string contains only lowercase English letters. They have strictly given in the constraints. And the length of the string has to be greater than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 100. And each character always needs exactly 8 bits. They have clearly given here. And I had stressed this one during the question while reading the question as well. Each character always needs exactly 8 bits. We have to take care of this one as well. And maximum binary string length, we know this one because the length of the string they have given 100, and the maximum binary string length would be, so each character will be 8 quite obviously, it would lead to 800 bits, right? The maximum binary string length would be 800 bits. Yeah. So this is simple calculation. Yep. So this is fine, I believe. This is the constraints, right? So this is the constraints part. So I hope the question part is completely clear. now let me delete this one and let me close this one as well. Let's move towards the, or yeah, let's move towards the intuition, or this one, what do we call, the approach part basically. Yeah, let me close this one. Just give me a second here. Yep, let's do that. Let's do one thing. Let's consider first example itself, right? So here we have S equals FF. So let's consider the same example. I'll just go with here S equals FF, right? Initially, accordingly with the question, what we have to do, we have to convert this one, each character that is present in the string into the ASCII value. So capital A starts from 65, I believe, and a small a starts from 97, I believe. So F will be quite obviously 102. You can just check. Basically, if it's 97, 100 will be D basically. EF will be 102, right? So this is fine, I believe. S will be 102. So we have to convert 102. So this one, ASCII value of the F is 102, 102 respectively, right? So we have the same character. It will be 102 respectively. Now we have to convert the 102 to the 8-bit binary representation. So usually how we convert this one to 8-bit binary this one binary representation, we can just go on dividing with the 2. So I'll just go with 102 here. 2 into 5, 10 basically. 2 into 1, this one. 2 into 51 is 102. So 2 into 25 is 50. We get 1 as remainder, and 2 into 12, 24. 1 as remainder. Again, 2 into 6, 12. 0 as remainder. 8 through 2 into 3, 6 basically. Sorry, yeah, 0 as remainder. Finally, 2 into 1, 2, and 1 as remainder. So this one will be 2 into 0. I'll just write it over here. I don't have space. And 1 as remainder, right? So this one will be 0, 1 followed by yeah, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. So this is the binary representation of 102, right? So this is how we go with the calculate binary representation, right? So I'll just write here 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. So this 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. This is the binary representation of 1, 0, right? So this is fine, I believe. It's as simple as that. Now, after converting this one to the binary, for the first character, actually what we got as the binary representation. So this one is nothing but 0, 1, 1, 0. And what did I write here? 0, 1, 1, 0, and again 0, 1, 1, 0, right? For the second character also, we have the same F, right? So we have the same character, nothing but F. For that also, the binary representation would be same actually, 0, 1, 1, 0. When we combine this one, this would be 0, 1, 1, 0 followed by 0, 1, 1, 0. And again, I'll just write the same thing here, 1, 1, 0, right? So this is the binary representation of two characters that is present for the first example, right? So next, what we will be doing, so we now we need to compare from both the ends, right? So now we need to compare from both the ends. The character has to match from both the sides, right? If only the character match, then we have to return true, right? If the character doesn't match, then we have to return false. For that, in the coding part, we can just go with the 2 pointers, right? So we can just maintain 2 pointers left and right. We can just go on calculating. So to basically, you need to know how to this one, what do we call, how to check the palindrome, right? How to check the palindrome. So we'll be maintaining the 2 pointers, and we'll be going on checking from left as well as the right until both the pointers, right? So that will be the condition. That will be, we'll be writing one more function for that to check, right? So this one, by looking at it, actually you can say that this is the palindrome basically. See here, from the this one, what do we call, from the forward we get 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 here, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 0, 1, 1, 0. From the backward also, it is same, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, the same thing actually. So this is the palindrome, and in this case, what we will do, we will return true. We have to return true, right? So while writing the code, what we'll be doing, actually, what we have to think of, first thing, the character, whatever the character that is present in the string, we need to this one, consider the ASCII value of it. After considering the ASCII value, we need to convert that one to the 8-bit binary representation. Yeah, that's what we need to do, 8-bit binary representation. Then after doing that, actually, based on the number of characters that is present in the string, we have to combine all the this one, what do we call, 8-bit, we have to combine all of them, right? So in the 8-bit binary representation format itself. Then after doing that, the final step is we need to check whether it is a palindrome or not, right? So we need to check whether it is a palindrome or not. Again, palindrome is something that suppose if we read from the forward and backward, it has to be same, right? So this is the logic basically, right? So now I hope the question part and the intuition or the approach part is completely clear. Let's see the code, what code that I have submitted. Yeah, let's do that. So let's continue with the coding part here. So first thing, I have used the string builder here, right? So one second, give me a second here. Yeah. I have made use of the string builder here. Why we have made use of the string builder here? Simple. So because we have to store the complete binary representation of all the characters, right? So for each character we have to store. Finally, we have to store the this one. What do we call complete binary representation of all the characters? That is the reason I'm going with the string builder here. The next thing, we are going with a simple for loop. What does this do basically? We have to process every character of the string that is present. See here, this f has to be processed and this f has to be processed, right? So we have to process every character. So we are processing every character of the string. And first thing, if you remember the approach, we have to convert this one. What do we call? Uh, Convert the character to the ASCII value. That's what we are doing here. Int value equals to C is nothing but the ASCII value of the current character basically, right? So this for loop, again, we have mentioned one more for loop here, right? So what does this do? And this is reverse iteration. You can observe here, right? So be a bit greater than or equal to 0 until 7 we have considered. Why we have considered, you would have already guessed that we are going from, or we have to convert the ASCII value into 8-bit binary representation, right? So we have to convert this one to the 8-bit binary representation accordingly with the question. Yeah. For that reason, what we are doing, we are just going with this one. What do we call? One more loop here. Basically, we are generating exactly 8 bits from the most significant bit to the less significant bit. Yeah, that's what we are doing. One second, what happened to this one? Yeah, most significant bit to the least significant bit. So that's what we are doing. First, again, we are generating exactly 8-bit here, right? So that's what we are doing from the MSB to the LSB, nothing but most significant bit to the less significant bit or least significant bit. Bit equals 7 here, whatever I have considered. So basically this gives the first bit, and bit equals 0 is nothing but this is the last bit, right? So we are going with a reverse iteration. Then what we are doing, we have to shift the required bit to the rightmost position, right? So we have to shift the bit to the rightmost position. For that, what we are doing, we are shifting the bit to the rightmost position by making use of value right shift bit. So let me delete this one if you are not able to see this part actually. Value rightmost, this one, right shift bit. And finally logical and 1. Logical and 1 because we have to extract the same exact bit, right? So first we are shifting the required bit to the rightmost position and we have to extract that particular bit. To extract that particular bit, we are making use of logical and 1, right? It's simple. Now, we after doing this, we get this one. What do we call? The whatever the ASCII value that we get actually, that will be converted to 8-bit binary representation, right, of each character, right? So we are combining it. So we will be getting this one basically within the string format. Then what we have to do accordingly with the approach, we have to check whether it is palindrome or not, right? So we have to check whether it is palindrome or not. So for that we have made use of the 2 pointers. This is nothing but the 2 pointers. Yeah, let me scroll this one. Let me delete this one for a second and I'll just scroll this one. So 2 pointers start from here basically. You can clearly see here. Left, right is nothing but we are going until. So this is from this one 7 to 0 for the 8-bit representation, right? 8-bit ASCII this one representation. We are going from 0 to 8. For this one we are going with we are going until 32. So this one will be 32 minus 1 from 31. Left will be 0 and right will be initially it will be 31, right? So while left less than right, so this one you have to know how to check for the palindrome, right? So we'll be checking until left and right pointers meet basically. Caret left not equal to caret right basically. If it is not, suppose it fails, right? So in that case we are returning false and we will be moving both left pointer as well as the we will be decrementing the right pointer. You should be knowing how to check for the palindrome by now, right? So we are doing that basically. So if at least one condition fails actually, in that case we have to return false, right? So this is fine I believe. Else if everything goes well, suppose if everything goes well, then we have to return true, or we are returning true. Basically, that's what we are doing. So this is it for the first question. Yep. So yep, we have discussed the question. Yep. We have discussed the question. Mm, we have discussed the constraints as well. We have discussed the this one coding part as well. Constraints, and we had discussed the intuition as well as the approach by considering the simple example, this one, right? So the same thing we have this one articulated the exact same thing in the form of code as well. We have discussed the code, and there's one thing left, nothing but the complexities part. So what would be the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written, right? So let's discuss the same. So what would be the time complexity? You would have already guessed by now, right? So the time complexity would lead to big of n. So why it's big of n here? So we are going with each character, or yeah, each character basically produces exactly 8 bits accordingly, right? So we have seen this one. Each character exactly produces 8 bits. So overall time complexity would lead to 8n. Each character produces 8 bits. It would lead to 8n. So we can just remove this constant and it would lead to big of n. Right. So the time complexity would lead to big of n. And what would be the space complexity now? Space complexity would lead to big of n. When I say big of n, we are discussing about the auxiliary space here, right? Input space would lead to big of n itself, and output space would be basically big of 1, because we are storing only the Boolean result, right? So we are storing only the Boolean result. So auxiliary space would lead to big of n. Why the auxiliary space would lead to big of n? Because we are making use of the string builder. Initially, I had stressed on the same actually. Auxiliary space would lead to big of n because string builder stores same 8 n this one binary characters. String builder stores 8 n binary characters. So I'll just write here binary characters, right? So this is fine, I believe. So this constant we can just remove. It would be big of n. The space complexity would lead to big of n in terms of auxiliary space actually, as we are making use of the string builder. So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written would lead to big of n and big of n respectively. So this is it for the complexities part as well, and this is it for the first question, right? So yep. Today let's discuss the two questions. I had done three questions. I was unable to solve the fourth. So let's do one thing. Today we'll be discussing the first two questions, and tomorrow let's discuss the third one, right? So for now, this is it. Actually, thanks for watching, guys.